Let's bring into the conversation right now legal analyst Sam Bassett to kind of dive into not necessarily the political questions that have arisen from all of these resignations, but about the dismissal of the indictments itself against Adams. And Sam joins me. Sam, good to see you here, and thanks for joining us on this holiday. I got to ask, though, if you were a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York, and the top dogs in Washington brought this brokered deal to you in the form of a memo saying, we need you to dismiss the indictment against Adams. It's interfering, it's impinging on our efforts to, enforce some of these illegal immigration actions in the city of New York. Would you have done it, or would you have resigned like Danielle Sassoon did just on Thursday?
I suppose if I was privy to the investigation and I believed in what had been done and the indictment that had been returned, it would cause me to really think about resigning, as so many of them did. On the other hand, some people have life necessities they have to look out for themselves, and it's a real tough position to be in as a professional prosecutor in making a decision on following the orders from your boss.
But in this instance, I mean, have you ever seen something of this effect where a lot of critics of this deal that was brokered, Republicans and Democrats alike, are saying it's completely political in nature? Have you ever seen anything like it, though?
No, I've seen a lot of things in the last few weeks and months that I've never seen before in 38 years of practicing law. So yes, it's unprecedented. It's unusual. I suppose it's the president's prerogative as he's in charge of the Department of Justice.
That was a very good point here. But to the claim from some of Adams' critics that he is now beholden to the Trump administration and has to, vis-a-vis with that formulation, do Trump's bidding at each and every turn, especially when it comes to illegal immigration and enforcement of some of these actions. Is that a valid claim being made by some of his critics? And most of them are calling on him to resign because they say he cannot effectively serve as mayor while under the thumb of Trump and Trump's DOJ. Would it be hard to do his job in the event that that is actually true?
I think, obviously, he's been handed a huge gift by on the decision to dismiss this case. As we all know, a federal prosecution rarely results in an acquittal after indictment. And he's been given a huge gift. Now, whether or not he chooses to use that huge gift to do a quid pro quo to the president and his political allies, that's really his decision. It'll be interesting to watch. But it seems the speculation is there may have been a quid pro quo. Time will tell.
Yeah, I want to highlight some of that reporting. These resignations that we just reported on, are the pending ones at that, follow a tense meeting between the deputy mayors and Adams at the official mayoral residence, that's Gracie Mansion in New York City. That meeting happened on Friday night. That was reported by Politico. Also, WNBC then reported that these resignations were pending, and the Daily News and the New York Times further reported their likelihood, the resignations likelihood here. So if we get any more reporting on whether or not they are, in fact, final and a done deal, we'll bring that here. But some of Adams's supporters, including within the Trump administration itself, they are claiming all along that the Southern District of New York, the U.S. attorney there, Damian Williams, who brought the indictments, that the indictments themselves were political in nature. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think the indictments predated Eric Adams becoming mayor. They examined his behavior before he was mayor. So this was an investigation that was going on for like 9 or 10 years.
Right. And some of those allegations include, accepting illegal foreign campaign donations from Turkish officials, bribery, fraud, and the like. But you have the likes of some in the Trump administration right now saying, well, that should have never been handed down in the first place. The indictment should not have been brought here. Is that a hindsight is 2020 thing going on? Or would you agree with that assessment that the very bringing of the indictment was political in nature? That's what Adams has been saying all along.
I've been around federal agents and prosecutors for my entire career. Most of them are apolitical when it comes to criminal investigations. Obviously, the political appointees are political in nature, but the line prosecutors and line agents, in my experience, have been almost down the line apolitical when it comes to criminal investigations.
And Sam, I just lastly wanted to ask you, Adams remaining very defiant, and a lot of these are political questions, so I do apologize. I know you're a legal analyst here. But with the resignations mounting, not only in City Hall, but also at the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District here, can Adams survive this? Because I want to just point out, I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, the dismissal of the indictment is not final yet.
Well, I think once the prosecution moves to dismiss, a judge is certain to sign it.
Okay, but that has not happened yet. At least a federal judge, from what I understand. And you're right. That's the final say on this. They need to sign off and sign it. That has not happened.
Right. Well, I think he's definitely got a political an uphill battle, to say the least, to survive the Democratic primary. I think what I'm hearing is that he's all but certain to lose that. But I'm not a politician. I'm not an analyst, so I don't know.
Yeah, and somewhat of a wrinkle in this story as well was, say, after the election, Emile Beauvais, the acting deputy attorney general, left the door open to refile the charges when the election is all said and done. Do you anticipate that happening? Does that happen very often? Or is the door going to be shut once it's dismissed?
It's very rare something's refiled once it's dismissed, okay, but it is a legal option.
All right. Sam Bassett, we appreciate your time, especially on this holiday, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.